Hello and welcome to Treasury 360. Today we'll be discussing accounting and finance training in respect of the Treasury environment. Not necessarily accounting versus finance, but how the skills you develop in accounting and the skills you develop in finance help you be a better person in a Treasury environment. Let's consider accounting. Accounting is historical looking by considering the economic activities of a company over a period and representing these economic activities in statements that depict or represent what exactly happened over the period. And that is the goal of accounting. And accountants solve many problems in the institution, or they are trained to solve a lot of problems because just like any human institutions, there are misrepresentations, reversals, there are cancellation of orders, there are various things that can cause them to misrepresent or misstate these economic activities. Okay, then we can move on to, so accounting is historical, and the goal is to represent economic activities in statements. Alright, now look at finance. Finance is future looking, and finance would be worried about what is to happen in the future. The future is usually unknown, and so you make assumptions of the future, and the level of accuracy of your assumptions determines how successful you are as a finance person. So with finance, assumptions accuracy of the assumptions. In a treasury environment, risk is very important, and so your training or perception about risk would inform how well you perform or how well you accept and treat risk and relate with risk. So risk is important. Risk will sit up here. Let's consider accounting training and how an accountant would perceive risk. Now, first, accounting is historical and represents economic activities through statements. So one thing that comes to mind is the risk of misrepresenting these economic activities, right? So an accountant views risk as a possible misrepresentation of what happened in the past. This is very important as to how you would treat and perceive risk in the treasury environment. Now let's consider how a finance person would perceive risk. Now what does a finance person do? he is future looking and makes assumptions and is worried about how accurate his assumptions are about the future. So an accounting person views risk as a misrepresentation of things that happened in the past, and a finance person views risk as assumptions that may be inaccurate in the future. These two views are important and must reside in a person that wants to be successful in a treasury environment. So let's look at how an accountant would use these skills to be successful as a treasury person, and a finance person use his concept of risk as a trait that will help him succeed in a treasury environment. In the treasury environment, you need to take stock of your past activities, economic activities, or past decisions, and juxtapose it against where you are now, how accurate those past decisions were, and how well they are performing up till today. Now you need to be able to have that critical look at it and make sure that you don't make errors in representing your past actions. And also you need to make a judgment as to where you are today. That is when you need your accounting cap as a treasury professional. Now, a finance person or a finance professional will now need to look at where I am now, how did I get there, and what assumptions can I make with what the information I have today about the future. So there could be a problem if you are low in accounting, where looking back is a problem for you, and taking stock of your previous actions and decisions would now affect how well you look into the future. So, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to represent is these two skills or training come together to form a complete person who can either manage the books, whether be it a banking book or the trading book, ALM desk or money market desk, or dealing in foreign currency or capital market or dealing in the commodities market. Whatever role that you have, these two disciplines fuse together to make you a holistic person who can take advantage of the markets and of situations that go on around him or her. I, for one, didn't start out in any of these disciplines, but I've had to acquire these disciplines as my journey in Treasury began. I started with an engineering background, but that's another topic for another day. Thank you for watching.